everyone. Welcome to this divine message. And if you're here, you have been called by your intuition to tap into whatever is going on right now. Before I even get started on the message that is coming up, I know that we are like coming through the residual energies of this full moon. It was a powerful shift for a lot of you, and it signifies another karmic cycle coming to an end. And there are people and situations that have kept you stuck, definitely falling away now. And with this old attachment being released, it feels as if it's probably aching in your body. You're probably getting a lot of shoulder and neck aches, maybe even lower back aches. Everything is changing in your favor. So you are receiving the good karma. You are able to receive because you know that this reciprocity is something that you're welcoming in because you've shifted the energy. You are definitely being blessed and supported, and you probably are feeling more sexual energy around the root chakra or any shedding that needs to take place. So this is definitely a shift in moving more, probably reduced appetite, maybe even increased appetite. And it's the healing that is coming along with this during separation. So you may be in contact with your counterpart, or it may be few and far between. But this whole message is about purging those old blockages, and the divine masculines seem to be purging a lot. And if you're feeling as a feminine here, listening to this call, listening to this message, you're probably tuning into the divine masculines and feeling the heaviness of the purging. You're feeling that there is some sort of confusion and burden and like lack of clarity. But I also feel that if you're seeing 1111, it's a message for the union. It's a message for the universe, for the union. It is a message for union. A lot of feminines are trying to cut off their energy from the divine masculines, i.e., be more detached, because feminines have already intuitively understood that they need to draw back their energy and protect themselves. I said this in a previous reading, but it sometimes means that the divine masculines still want to reach out. And because you're so in tuned and tied together through this divine thread, your souls are tied. It is about this huge shift that's happening for the masculines. And because they're going through this huge shift, it's unequivocally linked to the divine feminine. So that even though they remaining detached, there is this sense of unknowing and heavy burden and anxiety that isn't the divine feminine's energy, but they are able to tune into that because the divine feminines know that there are blessings coming. There is so much that is happening. And these past few days probably have been quite heavy for the divine feminines in particular, and the divine masculines, obviously. But I know that the divine feminines are focusing on their own journey, and they're really working hard to alchemize some of the energies. You might have felt drained, confused, overwhelmed. It's not in your head, divine feminines. It's genuinely happening on a soul level, because the universe is rewriting the version of what you were before into the version that you need to step into. So you might be having some past life connections coming through in your dream state. You may be purging quite a lot of things. Dreams aren't random, obviously. It's our souls almost like filtering through some of the things that we can't process in our waking day. But your body is reacting to it, right? So there are a few people who probably tuned into those activations, especially like with the dragons at the moment. And if that's you, then obviously let me know in the comments box, which color are you seeing? What type of energy are you experiencing? You are downloading new energetic codes. So you may feel muscle crampiness, you may feel some ringing in the ears or throat tightness or body soreness. It's basically your body just catching up with how you've been quantum jumping, how you've been skipping through timelines in the best way possible. But our physical state kind of takes some time to adjust to that. And then it's also understanding what type of patterns keep repeating, especially when it comes to you, relationships, and your counterpart. And so there are fears that are coming up. There are things that you really do need to look in the mirror and understand because it's a collective wound as well. But it's going to be specific to you and your counterparts. So you don't need to keep pushing. You don't need to think that everything needs to be done at a specific timeline because you are on the right track. You don't need to overthink where you are right now. There is a big cycle again coming to a head when it comes to the emotional, spiritual, and karmic cleansing. And so it is confirmation that you are closing out the old story, you're closing out the pain, and this is the karmic energies and cycles being cleared. So even though there is, um, there possibly is third party situations coming in the way of this. You are listening to your higher self, you're embodying this divine feminines, as are the divine masculines. And I'm also seeing that for some divine feminines, you're probably going through releasing the divine masculines in terms of complete detachment. So I had channeled a video and it basically was all about just making a point and putting a line in the sand between the old version of your divine masculine and the old version of you, right? So there are energies of illusions that are dropping away, and the divine feminines are actually healing and stepping into their Shakti, this sacred fire, letting go of those old karmic patterns, reclaiming that strength. And it's almost as if like the divine goddess within is taking control, and it's a perfect time to actually do some self-reflection on what is happening for you and have these conversations. I know in the community calls that we hold, there are opportunities to discuss what we are going through as we come together on those monthly calls. So if you're wanting to join in on those types of messages, head over to divinesacredtarot.com and you can understand why the membership actually gives you a lot more understanding and knowledge behind where you are and support, right? You get access to different readings and weekly newsletters. So it could be something that is calling out to you, that support from an external community and group. And so because you're being called divine feminines to step into your power, you are choosing healing. And there is this alchemical balance that's happening for you. So what I'm also seeing is a lot of the divine feminines who have released and really detached from their divine masculines, you're probably dreaming about your divine masculines, but it may not look like them. And what I mean by that is some of you may be seeing the divine masculines in all these other divine masculines, if that makes sense. So, say, for example, a couple of months ago, I think this was last year sometime, I had said there are so many amazing divine masculines around me. I'm very privileged to see incredible men and have them as role models, as family members, as best friends, as an example. And yes, I may be clouded by certain characteristics because as friends, we only see them in a certain way. And that's okay. But what I'm seeing now is you might be dreaming of another figure, somebody unfamiliar, but it also feels like your divine masculine. The energy never lies. So it may not look like your divine masculines, but you're tuning to the essence of your counterpart, not in the physical form. So the divine masculine's energy can show up symbolic, archetypal. And when you're dreaming, it may not look like your divine masculine in the 3D, especially when the connection is paused, but it could actually be their higher self reaching out to you. And the subconscious is processing your soul bond beyond the limits of the mind. So there is the illusion of separation, which is fading in a different dimension, especially when it's being processed on a cellular level. Your soul recognizes that love and connection exists beyond form, right? So you're tuning into the energy, and being in that dream state allows you to shed some of those blocks and fears. And it may look different, it may feel slightly unfamiliar, but the resonance of the divine masculine energy is unmistakable. What you're seeing as a sign, particularly if this resonates with you, you're moving beyond the attachment to an ego-based identity and into a new level of unconditional love, the kind that doesn't need to cling or possess. And I love this phase of integration, and it's very few and far between. I don't know that many people who have actually gone through this, because they usually release and then find a soulmate. And that's okay. You may be one person who is like, I'm done with my twin flame and I really want to find a soulmate, and that's okay. You may be learning a lot through this new person, but during separation, when you're in this phase of integration for twin flames, the dreams often guide us through healing, through integration, and it could be representing your whole embodiment of your own healed masculine energy. So what's happening is you're being mirrored back to you, your inner union. A friend asked me the other day, what does this individual look like? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like they're my divine masculine. It doesn't look like what my divine masculine is in the 3D. But when I tuned in a meditation, it felt like I was tapping into my energy, if that makes sense. So you need to do your own integration and healing and understand what type of energy that you're sinking into. Is it another energy trying to infiltrate yours? Or are you seeing your own masculine energy being healed and you're amplifying that inner union? So you're beginning, for those of you who are resonating, please do click the like button, because I don't think that many people are going to resonate with this one. And if you are, this is going to be very attuned to your specific scenario. You're probably being like attuned to holding the divine masculine energy within you, and it allows you to surrender external seeking. It allows you, as I said previously, to release the need to obsess or cling or possess. This soul communication is still active. Your divine masculine is talking to you in various different ways, even through the silence of the connection in the 3D. And those synchronicities, those dreams, those signs, those songs, those sensations, the dream is being given to you because it's giving you a message to say, I'm still with you in essence. You're never alone. Now, how incredible is that divine masculine message? It just literally came through. So you're probably clearing those old expectations or visual attachments to the 3D form of your divine masculine. And you're merging into the balance of energies between your feminine being integrated into a more masculine trait, stability, focus, grounded direction. So if you're feeling more at peace, if you're feeling more grounded, if you're calling back your energy, can you trust this energy over the appearance of it in the 3D? So let's go through some of the questions that I wanted to ask around the divine feminine and masculine energies. What is the divine masculine currently awakening to on a soul level? The Eight of Wands, fast moving energy. I feel as if they're swimming against the current, and this current is pulling them towards the light. And they are now understanding it's them that's the light. They didn't need to rely on you to show them how abundant and prosperous and beautiful they are. They needed to realize this. What is the past beliefs and conditionings that the divine masculines are breaking free from? The Devil card. I love that the Devil card has come up in this very specific position. The past beliefs, the conditionings that they weren't worthy, that they weren't enough. Divine feminines, you probably felt that same exact fear and uncertainty. But it was coming from the divine masculine too. That's why your energy energetically connected. Some of you may have believed that your divine masculine had entertained a lot of other counterparts and frivolously, explored their sexuality. And yes, that might have been true because it was an avenue for them to digest and process their pain or even distract themselves. But how is this helping them? They're understanding that that hasn't helped them. That might have been a phase in their evolution and growth. And now the veil has been removed from their version of themselves that they don't want to be anymore. They can't be that version of themselves if they need to be with you. And that is leading us to ask, what is the divine masculine's perception of the divine feminine shifting at this time? The Knight of Wands. I feel as if it's almost as if nobody turns me on like you do. There isn't just a sexual type of energetic connection between the both of you. This is more, there is a desire of an intimate level, but there is also this desire of peace, of balance, of harmony. And when we choose to chase triggers and drama, we forget that those moments in time that we seek solace in, that we feel home and peaceful in, aren't devoid of passion, but they are alchemically tied. What is the divine masculine's emotions that they're struggling with during this transformation? It feels as if they are battling on, but they can't see how long this is going to continue. It feels as if divine feminines, the best way I could describe this is if you're feeling hopeless at any point, this is the divine masculines type of energy coming through. Like you already know that you're detached, that you already know that you deserve and are worth so much. But the hopelessness that you're feeling is the emotions that the divine masculines are processing during their own transformation and their own tower moment. What are the subconscious fears that are surfacing as the divine masculine steps into the true power? Strength card, what a beautiful confirmation to have. It is the strength that the divine masculines have truly needed to uncover. And I've also got this Knight of Swords coming up too. I feel as if the fears about stepping into their true power, speaking up about what they feel, do they actually understand what they truly want? Because unless you can actually be honest with yourself, those subconscious fears are just going to keep cycling on. So they need to move past those things and actually be honest with themselves. How's the divine masculine's heart opening? And what are they learning about love? 10 of Pentacles. That this is the real success. This is the real progress. This is the real abundance. It doesn't matter how much you have in the bank or what you're doing with that money, or that you have everything that you can possibly need that money can buy. Now it's more a case of, I'm happy being. Their heart is opening up to what true love is, and it's causing them that kind of pain that they're uncertain how to satiate it. They don't know how to satiate that understanding of love. What is the spiritual lesson that the divine masculines are integrating? The Seven of Pentacles. How to sow new intentions, how to sow new seeds, how to be more authentic with what they want in relation to removing themselves from an external pull, an external distraction, right? So how is the divine masculines connecting with their higher self? The Chariot. This is a fast moving energy towards their higher selves, which is probably why divine feminines that you're tapping into their energy on the subconscious level. They're actually building a new foundation and working hard on integrating their higher selves guidance But this takes practice. This takes time. That it takes time, effort, and energy, but it's also something that's very positive for the divine masculines because they are able to move quickly with this. What is the karmic cycles that are coming to an end for the divine masculines? The Six of Cups. I feel that the Six of Cups usually is about reunion, but it's also about the karmic cycle of looking back on past relationships and thinking about what was. I'm going to leave that right there because I feel like it's only going to be specific for a few of you. How is the divine masculine being divinely guided towards a deeper balance within themselves? The Eight of Cups. Yeah, walking away from having the strength to walk away from the people who no longer serve them. Now, they may be coming across messages about the 5 people you spend time with dictates who you are as an individual and how you want to evolve as a person. So this is the divine masculine assessing who they truly need to let go of. And they probably have done this in the physical sense, like kind of clearing out the shed or the garage or cleaning up the garden. But I'm also seeing the Eight of Cups really is about fine-tuning things on a grander scale when it comes to relationships. What is the energy that the divine masculines are embodying in relation to the divine feminines, the Page of Swords? How can they be more honest with themselves? How can they tune into the divine magic within themselves? That's what they're trying to embody in relation to you. That's probably why you're sensing them in the dream state and maybe signs and synchronicities more and more, because that's the message that the divine masculines want to connect with you. They want to connect to you, not in the 3D, but astrally, because they know that that is their higher selves and the best version of themselves. What a beautiful message. What message does the higher self of the divine masculine want to share with the divine feminine? The Ace of Wands, yeah. The love and the passion has always been there. That there is a new beginning that is coming in from this Ace of Wands. There is this inspiration, this excitement, this tender hooks, and they want to share this with you. But they're biding their time, and they're not communicating about what they are planning, I'm hearing. What is the next phase of this journey? And how can the divine masculines best navigate it? What is the next phase of this journey? One card, please. Thank you. The Nine of Swords, which actually landed on the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Swords is still the processing. They probably aren't willing and able to communicate about what they're going through. This has caused them residual tower moments, and they're just having sleepless nights. They're having a certain feelings about ways to connect, and they're going through social media wanting to connect with you. They're wanting to offer something a lot more solid by going through the process of healing, transforming, lowering their energies around the other lower vibrational beings. And I feel like this is a trying time. So that's probably why they're not communicating with you, because it is a difficult moment to process, to understand. And they don't want to share this. They don't want to share it. Yeah, they're overthinking this, the Eight of Swords. They don't want to share what is happening in their own head. They don't want to bring your energies down because they feel as if they are not able to decipher what is their energy and what is others' energy, what is your energy. There is a third party situation here, but I feel it could be friends, it could be work. And they do need to understand that the more love they pour into themselves, just as you have learned, divine feminines, the more energy comes back into the connection, and they're able to receive the love that they've always longed for. So I hope this message helped. There is going to be a transformation happening for the divine masculines. And if this message resonated, please do click the like button. So then I'm able to understand and decipher some of the messages that are coming through for you guys. A lot of times when people say this resonated, it's because I'm tuning into your energy. And sometimes there are very specific channeled messages that have been called out to me to record to support you and your journey. So if this resonated, please do let me know in the comments box. I love hearing from you. And even if you didn't want to share your story right now, please pop some emojis on there. And this is an open, safe space. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing. And for any of you who are part of the membership, more videos coming soon. And I'm also going to do a live shortly. So you're probably going to get that in your newsletter soon. I'm sending you guys so much love. Bye for now.